Hi, everyone. Durango here from Durango here with Go Keto with Casey. It's always a little bit of a delay. Sorry for the hiccup. Out in the garden today and going to talk about something that many of us are hoping to experience. Some of us are close, some of us not so close. But the question does come up, what do you do when you've lost all the weight you want to lose? First of all, I want you to contemplate that question. How many of us here never thought we would even have those words come out of our mouths when we've lost all the weight we want to lose? Wow, that is like a dream come true for many of us. Some of us have been hoping to lose all the weight we want to lose for decades. But when you're on the ketogenic diet and you're losing weight and you're doing it by burning fat and hopefully by burning body fat, and so then you are losing weight and getting smaller, and in addition to the other health benefits. So what happens when you get to where you want or need to be? And keeping in mind that where you want and need to be can be two different places. You don't have to be a weight or a size that is recommended by some health chart in some actuarial table from an insurance company or, governmental guideline. But when you get to the size you want to be, I'm close. I wouldn't mind losing a few more pounds, but I'm pretty good where I am now. Does that mean I start to reintroduce carbohydrate into my diet? Not me. You do what you want to do. And the old Atkins would tell you to incrementally increase carbs. But for me, if I introduce carbs back into my life, I'm going to put weight on. That's the way many of us are wired. And if you up the carbs, then you start burning glucose for fuel rather than burning fat for fuel. If you're burning glucose for fuel, you can go back to the days of cravings and feel like you're being compelled to eat more carbs because your brain wants more glucose because it can't store it in the blood and all that other stuff. So what do? It kind of takes care of itself. I think there might be some people in the room who have gotten to their goal weight, and they can share with us what happens or what has happened when they got to their goal weight or wherever they wanted to be. I can tell you for my lovely mate, he did not have a lot of weight to lose, but he had put on a few pounds after age 50, as is normal, and his numbers had gotten a little bit out of whack, not terrible, but he got in front of it. He started doing the ketogenic diet based on seeing me do it. It was about 6 months later. And I laughingly say he got to his goal weight, between 8 p.m. one night and 7:30 a.m. the next morning. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not much. But he's been essentially weight stable now for 3 years. Weight stable. And by that I mean he doesn't fluctuate more than 3 pounds. And he eats the way he ate when he started the ketogenic diet. He eats when he's hungry. Sometimes he eats a little bit. He does have his night snacks of almond cookies and coffee, which he likes, and he can tolerate those. So I make him almond cookies. But he eats. He hasn't really changed the way he eats. He exercises. He has a physically demanding job. He gets on the bicycle and might ride for 20, 30 miles. And he's been weight stable. It's not that you just don't keep getting, wasting away because you're burning body fat. Body's an amazing thing. Just as your body will kind of hit homeostasis, which means everything balanced out with water retention. Some days we retain a little bit more. Some days we lose a little bit more water, depending on what our body's needs are, assuming we haven't artificially addressed water retention, either with a diuretic or loading up on sodium or something. But it'll just figure out what it needs. So water will fluctuate. I've been fairly weight stable now for a while. You can look at on my blog at my weight chart, and it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and it might fluctuate about 3 pounds. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I mean, some days I'll barely change by 1/10 of a pound, but I'm not doing anything different. I'm eating the way I've been eating for now a really long time. So why don't I just continue to lose weight? It's because maybe I'm kind of where I need to be, not based on a chart, not on some arbitrary guideline, but where my body needs to be. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm strong. Most days I have energy. Some days I have less, but I think that's normal for anybody. I don't think about food a lot. So what do? The first option is just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep eating the way you're going to eat. It's not like, oh, I did that, so now keto's over. I'm going to go back to the old way. No. The analogy I use is, if you're allergic to peanuts and you go into anaphylactic shock, if you eat, nuts, and then you stop eating nuts and all the bad stuff disappears because you're no longer eating nuts, you don't say, oh, well, I haven't gone into shock in a really long time, so I guess I'm good. I'm going to start eating nuts again. No. You do what you want to do. But if I needed to make a change dietarily, it would be, I continue to listen to my body, eat only when hungry, stop when satiated. Still, something that I continue to work on. But as I'm exercising more, I've been going to the gym, I may be more hungry, and I may add dietary fat in now. I'm burning fat for fuel. So let's just hypothetically say I've burned all the body fat I want. I haven't. But let's just say I have. Say I've lost those last little 5 pounds that I want to lose, whatever it is. Body fat I want to lose. I'm going to meet my body's energy needs, not by increasing carbs, not necessary. I would increase dietary fat because my protein is going to remain pretty stable. Pretty stable, even with exercising. I'm not going to need to, cram in lots of protein. I'm a small framed person and I'm not pumping iron or, trying to bodybuild. I want to be fit and strong. So at that point, I might add some more dietary fat, not gobs of it. It might mean I eat more cheese than usual, or I have more olive oil than usual, just to meet those dietary needs. But we'll find out when I get there. Again, I can tell you my lovely mate's experiences that he's pretty much eaten the way he started eating when he went with the ketogenic diet, and he listens to his body. Some days hit the table. Did it again. Yikes. Some days he eats more, some days he eats less. Some days he doesn't eat dinner, some days he eats a large dinner. Just depends on his energy needs. So listen to your body. Don't you find that some days you are hungrier than others? Because maybe you're more active, or maybe, phases of the moon. I don't know. So that's my approach. That's what I'm planning on doing. What do you do when you've lost all the weight? First of all, you jump around and do cartwheels because that's pretty cool to lose all the weight you want to lose if you've been a heavy person. Even if you've not been a heavy person, even if those extra 15 pounds have bothered you and interfered with your happiness, just because I've lost a whole bunch of weight doesn't mean that someone who only wanted to lose 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 pounds or 20 pounds, whatever, is somehow, can't feel my pain. Well, she can't feel my pain. We can't feel each other's pain. But if you're uncomfortable and unhappy, do something about it. How did I get on that track? Wow. Anyway, so you'll add dietary fat as the answer to the question if you have burned all the body fat you want to lose and you need to meet your body's energy needs. Okay, it is a really pretty day here in my part of the world, and I am next to the garden, which I love. I don't know if you can see or hear the waterfalls behind me, but this is a really nice place to be. And looking forward to this coming autumn. Autumn used to be kind of a time of dread. Not autumn, but the holidays. This is the start of the holidays, right? First comes Labor Day, then Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and the Jewish holidays that are coming, and they all revolve around food. hawk flying overhead. Can you hear that? Oh, there it is. And I used to dread it because I just knew I was going to end up in January feeling so gross. I haven't dreaded the holidays now in a couple of years because now they're not about food. They're about family and the days getting shorter and nesting in front of the fireplace and calming down, and maybe we'll get a snowstorm and everything gets quiet for a couple of days. That's what this time of year has started to mean to me. It is not an anticipation of dread, which is what it used to be. I dreaded the holidays, sad to say. So I hope you guys are having a great Labor Day. For our friends in the Houston area, let's keep a good thought. And Irma, a hurricane, apparently is barreling through the water and might be heading one way or another through our part of the world. Depending on where it hits, we will sometimes have storms that come up through South Carolina. And we usually do not have the high winds where we are because we're inland enough, but big storms are big storms. So let's keep each other in our thoughts no matter what. Whether there's a hurricane or not a hurricane, people are going through something all the time. So let's keep good thoughts for each other, and let's keep good thoughts for ourselves. And Brenda Johnson writes, Texas strong, yes. And Stephanie, hey Stephanie, writes, holidays were my downfall last year. You will not repeat those mistakes. You know, once you get through one holiday season without having caved, it makes you feel so strong and empowered. It is very gratifying. Maybe all out of proportion to what it actually is. I mean, after all you're doing is passing up on carbs. It's not like, you found I lost my own train of thought. But just passing up on carbs throughout our holiday season doesn't sound like it's very dramatic, but it is dramatic if you've struggled. So plan on doing that. Plan on doing that. Don't wait till you're in the throes of it. Don't wait till you're at the cocktail party. Don't wait until you're at the office party. Don't wait until Thanksgiving Day and you're surrounded by 4 different types of pies that people have brought. Plan to pass up on those foods. You won't regret it. You're not going to miss out on one thing except misery. You will miss out on feeling defeated. You will miss out on feeling gross. What you will gain will be empowerment, strength, a feeling of gratification, self-gratification. And once you do it, you kind of get addicted to it. And it gets easier each time. Each time. So just plan for it. And it's not that big a deal, guys. It ain't like you have to bust rocks or anything. You just have to say no thank you to the carbs. No heavy lifting involved. Okay? All right, I'm going to turn my attention to you lovely folks who are showing on. Hey, Darylyn. Use the storm and diverticulitis to do a mini fast with bone broth. Hey, what a great idea. You went the other way. Some people might have used it as an excuse to say, oh, well, pass the Dunkin' Donuts. Understandable. I mean, you don't want to say, oh, don't worry about it. But if you can get through it, get through it. So good for you. How did that go? And Vicki G from Southeast Washington, small victories are still victories. Amen to that. You know, it's like, how big is a haystack? It's a haystack. It's as big as a haystack is. How big is a victory? It's a victory. It's as big as it is. Rose P54 says, hey, Casey, is there a Durham support group meeting tomorrow? Yes, thank you for asking. There's a Durham, North Carolina support group meeting with Dr. Westman tomorrow at the Durham Hilton near Duke on Hillsborough. You don't have to eat. There is a keto-friendly buffet available, but you don't have to eat. It's good food too. The food starts about 5:45. It's a buffet, so you can kind of get it on your own. And Dr. Westman usually starts talking about 6:30 to 8. So yes, and then next week, and literally, God willing, the creek don't rise. If we're not in the middle of a big storm, there'll be a Greensboro keto meeting in Greensboro, North Carolina, at Tex and Shirley's Pancake House, because that's how we roll. I just like to throw it into a place that you would think would be the opposite place to go to have a keto meeting. Again, you don't have to buy anything. There's no dinner requirement. At both places, I will have Adapt products available. Not many. I don't have that many. I'm just selling a little bit of stock that was on hand. So I'll have those. Okay, Joni Sanchez. Hi, Casey. Hope you guys are not affected by Hurricane Irma. You and me both. You and me both. Okay, you guys are talking to each other, and I really love that. Hey, Wanda. Wanda Landers, a great success story. Wanda, you've lost over 100 pounds, correct? You have AFib, and you're doing this beautifully, and your doctor's on board. That is so great. Congratulations. And Wanda is one of the most generous, conscientious people you will ever meet. I've not had the pleasure of meeting her in person, but I certainly have had the pleasure online. Dr. Father Napier writes, I just eat as usual. Still have 15 pounds to go. Don't know how slowly that will happen. Thank you, Casey. Well, thank you right back, Dr. Father Napier. Wanda writes, 102 pounds down. Imagine that, 102 pounds. That is so great. Melissa Tucker, hello. I'm in South Carolina. I've been doing keto for 4 weeks now. Your videos have been so helpful. I've lost 7 pounds. That's great. Congratulations. I'm glad the videos help. Rhonda Baldwin, Casey, is that a hammock? Yes, that's a hammock back there. Can you see that yet? Sure is a hammock. This is a great sanctuary back here. And you can hear all the animals. We've just let everything kind of go natural. My husband made this pond. It's 2-3 level pond, and waterfalls and fish and lilies and things like that. And laying in the hammock and listening to the water. I came out here last night with a lantern, with a hurricane lantern, and just sat out here in the dark and listened to the water and meditated. I think that's very important to do if you can manage it. You know, some people's lives are so hectic that it can be difficult to say, well, I'm just going to meditate. It doesn't have to be a formal thing. Meditating just means kind of unplugging your mind, and even just for a few minutes, even if it's just while you're laying in bed in the morning before you have to jump out of bed and start your busy day, lay there for a few minutes with your eyes closed and concentrate on breathing. Don't think about what you're going to do all day. Just think about nothing. Let your mind kind of have a stream of consciousness. Maybe if you can just, you know, I'm really enjoying the Epsom salt baths at night. And I light a candle and I put on some music or listen to a podcast or listen to nothing. And I just lay there and just relax. And sometimes I come out to my pond and do it. Sometimes I go in the front garden. Okay, I'm now looking back at before. Okay, I think someone has asked if you should have an A1C test before you do keto. I wouldn't wait to do keto to see what your tests are, because ultimately it doesn't matter where you start. Where you want to end up is in the good range. I'm not sure if that was the question being asked. And I'm sorry, I'm swatting away buggies. Hey, Joe Lindsay, 13. Hi, Casey. And it's Casey with a C, by the way, not a K. From Montana, here down 28 pounds, 11 weeks. Congratulations. That is great. That is just so great. Congratulations. Evie can write, say, Casey, love you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm going to keep this one fairly short today. I do have some other things I need to do. I'm going to the gym, as a matter of fact, later on. And I think I'm going to sit in the sauna, my favorite thing to do. You know, if someone had told me that I would be forced to sit in a wooden box at 180 degrees, I would, you know, think that was torture. But I do it voluntarily and pay for the privilege because I really like the sauna. Trish Rader, I had a mitral valve replacement and triple bypass in 2014. I am rats. I'm going to see if I can scroll back up. see that comment. I want to see what that was about. Excuse me. It always kind of messes me up when I do this, but I want to see that. Okay, I lost it. Lost it. Sorry. I am sorry. I lost it. Dory Lamarco. Oh, gross. Crepey skin. Yuck. I'll take crepey skin over 100 extra pounds and sadness and aching joints and brain fog. I'll take the crepey skin. My skin's okay for what it is. I get asked that a lot. My skin, and it's certainly nothing that I would have expected based on the amount of weight I've lost. Probably it's genetics. I didn't do anything special. I have not had any skin removal surgery. I have not had any special regimen. You know, I occasionally do the dry brushing, which I've heard is supposed to be very good. I don't use any special body lotions. It's probably genetics. Or maybe the fact that I lost so slowly. No, I lost so normally, right? We don't say we're slow losers. We say we're normal losers. Okay. Hey! Hashtag my friend Jen in the house. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow too, girl. Looking forward to seeing you. No, Tiffany Moore, I do not take collagen. With homemade bone broth, there is collagen in that because I get marrow bones and everything else, and cartilage breaks down from the bones and everything. So there isn't that, but I don't take a supplement of collagen. Point. And I've heard that that's good. It's not that I don't do it because I won't do it. I just haven't done it. There's a lot of things I probably could do for myself that I don't do. I'm a pretty, I'll tell you, I'm a pretty basic person. I'm looking at a hummingbird at our feeder. And it just went to the other feeder. And there it goes behind me. I'm pretty basic. If you've seen the way the meals I prepare, they're pretty basic. Casey's a lazy cook. I don't take supplements. People ask about that. I take a multivitamin, a fish oil capsule, and 3 slow mag tablets today, or mag 64, the generic version, for magnesium because I do get leg cramps. That's it. I wash my face with whatever soap I can get. I take my makeup off with a combination of the leftover canola oil that I had, because I don't use canola oil anymore. You want to avoid seed oils. And witch hazel, 50-50, and I use that with cotton balls, and I take my makeup off, and I scrub my skin with baking soda. Yes, I keep up thinking baking soda, and I scrub my face with it. And then I slather on Vaseline petroleum jelly. So I'm pretty basic. I don't do anything too fancy. And skin is an issue for a lot of people. It's a concern for a lot of people. I've heard more from people that their skin is better than they anticipated. So maybe the anti-inflammatory properties of the way of eating does help with our skin, because skin is an organ, right? So maybe it does. In autophagy, I don't know about that. I know people throw that out, but I don't know if that's just a theory or if it's been tested or whatever. I don't have an answer for that. I can just tell you my experience. I've done nothing in particular, and I'm okay with my skin. Deb, I use the keto strips, but they never show I'm in ketosis, but I'm still losing. You don't have to be in ketosis to lose weight. Or if you're testing first thing in the morning, you might be in ketosis, but you're getting a false negative because the acetoacetate is diluted. Don't test on a full bladder. Make sure your strips are good quality strips, not some weird knockoff brand, that they're not expired, and that they have not been exposed to air. Or you might be in ketosis and you're one of those few people, it's not common, but it does happen, where the acetoacetate is actually reabsorbed before it comes out in your urine. Yeah, Nancy Hansen, I use olive oil to take off my eye makeup. I'm almost out of my little mixture, And I've not bought any more canola oil, so olive oil will be the next thing I use to mix it with the witch hazel. Wanda Landers, will we get to see the meeting with Dr. Westman? I'm not going to live stream it. I am planning on recording it. If my camera will record something for that long, it's my actual camera, not my phone. So I won't be live streaming it. I'm going to record it and see if I can get it edited, and I probably am going to make the bulk of it available to patrons, but I'll try to get out some snippets to put out, but it's probably going to be mostly for patrons. Vaseline helps seal moisture in the skin. Great for babies with eczema. Yeah, I find I like the Vaseline. I just like the way it feels. Luz días, adios. Así en feliz día. And I use Lead in Human says Nurse Hattie or Nurse Hattie brand seems to be a great brand. I use the Bayer brand keto sticks. That's what I use. Christy J, how many meals do you eat per day? I'm thinking of going to one meal. I don't do anything arbitrarily. Thank you for that question, Christy. I don't say I'm going to only eat one meal a day. It's too arbitrary. It doesn't make sense to say eat only when you're hungry and then not eat if you're actually hungry. Some days I eat 3 meals. Some days I eat a meal and a couple of snacks. Some days I nibble throughout the day because I'm just simply not that hungry. Some days it's 1 meal a day. So if you eat when you're hungry, it's going to be different because whoever made up the rule that our energy needs are the same every day. I think even if I sat still all day long, my energy needs could be different from one day to the next. Our bodies are not static. Don't you find that some days you pee more than others? Some days you sleep more than others? Why should we need exactly the same amount of food every day? Some days I'm more active. Some days I'm less active. Some days I have no appetite. And some days I have an appetite. Today I've had an appetite. Don't know why. And I'm going to go to the gym this afternoon, and I'm probably going to be more hungry later today or tomorrow. So I don't arbitrarily restrict it at all. I don't eat in a feeding window. I eat when I'm hungry. And I try to stop when I'm satiated. That's hard. Vicky G from Southeast, Casey-isms. Eat when hungry, stop when satiated, drink when thirsty, eat fatty sources of protein, keep your carbs 20 grams. That's it, 20 grams or fewer a day, and that's really how I do what I do. You do what works for you. But that's what I do. And it has worked for me. I would like to lose about 5 more pounds. That is me being arbitrary. You know why? Because I want to weigh that, because I would weigh a little bit less than I did when I got married. Why do I want to weigh what I weighed when I was 22? What's the point of that? I'm a different person. Those extra 5 pounds are just all the wisdom. I've got 5 pounds of wisdom I'm carrying around with me. Because man, was I a dodo bird when I was 22. Weren't we all? And I'm sorry, is it Rakna 888? Do I ever fast? I experimented with fasting a couple of years ago when my lovely mate was out of the country for a month, just to see what it was like. And I did. I think I went a little over 28 hours of fasting. And I could do it. It was all right. Yeah, I lost a couple of pounds, but it's not anything I do. I don't fast. I don't intermittent fast. I do intermittent fast in that when I'm not eating, I'm fasting. Okay, let's be real. If you're not eating, you're fasting. So if you want to say I intermittently fast because I don't eat all day, I mean, I don't spend every hour eating. Yeah. I often don't eat my first meal until my first food at all, other than coffee, because I have coffee every morning. 1 o'clock, sometimes it'll be 10:15, sometimes it's 9:30, sometimes it's 3. Depends. It just depends. But I'm not doing it arbitrarily. I'm doing it when it's time for me to eat. Not that I'm a wizard on this, guys. I've been successful at it, but I was in a pretty bad place when I started. And I don't want anyone to be where I was. I was highly motivated because I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. And that's why I got started. And I was in a bad place in my brain. My life has always been great. I was in a bad place in my brain. I don't want anyone to feel that way about themselves or the world. So I've been successful because I have really not deviated. I didn't play around. The most successful people I talk to don't play around. No cheat days, no cheat meals, no net carbs, no fake foods. I just didn't do it. Some for my husband, he can tolerate more than I can because he's a dude. He is very energetic and active and all this stuff. He's younger than I am, wink, wink. So I make him almond cookies. I have made cheesecake. He just asked me about when I'm going to make cheesecake again. But I tend to avoid those. I don't play. So that's what works for me. I just do it. Dr. Westman said, keep your carbs below 20. Eat from his food list. If it's not on the list, don't eat it. So that's what I did because that's what he said to do. So I did it and it worked for me. Okay, guys, we're on a half an hour. I love that everyone is here. Okay, Vicky does say, Casey, address Bulletproof coffee for Cassandra, please. Thank you. Thank you. I assume that question was asked. Like, do I drink how many cups of Bulletproof coffee is normal? 0. How many cups of Bulletproof coffee? Now, if it depends on, for me, 0 is normal. I don't do Bulletproof coffee. I have coffee and I measure 2 teaspoons of heavy cream. If you can get away with the hundreds of calories, all of them fat calories in Bulletproof coffee, great. But if you are drinking all of your body's energy needs in the form of liquid fat, then your body does not need to turn to your stores of fat for energy. And I like Bulletproof coffee. When I was first learning, I did Bulletproof coffee and I like it, but then I realized I'm not burning any more body fat. So I stopped, but certainly not multiple cups of Bulletproof coffee. I mean, just measure out how many, ultimately, you know, the amount of food, energy that you take in is important based on the amount of energy your body needs. So I would, if you have body fat to lose, my suggestion would be dispense with the oily coffee, with the butter and the MCT oil. Dispense with that. If you're using it as a meal replacement, it gets you through 4 o'clock p.m. and it works for you, great. But if something's not working, start looking to the added dietary fat. I guess that's my cue to stop. Sounds like a chainsaw going next door. Oh, he just stopped. Again, I'm not going to tell anyone what they should do. You do what you want to do. I'll tell you what did and did not work for me. Hey, Denise. Hey, Dee. Let your body supply the fat. I think that makes the most sense logically. Again, you do what you want to do. Sheila D, I like Bulletproof coffee, but stopped after watching these videos. I like the idea of using it as an occasional meal replacement, though. I could see doing that. I can't use MCT oil. Tablespoon gave me, yeah, MCT oil. Don't use it anyway. That is, I'm going to tell you, that's a waste of money. If you really are going to pile on fat in your coffee, just use butter and coconut oil. And, you know, the MCT oil, it is not. That came out because of bodybuilders who are like 3% body fat, and they need to get their fat from somewhere. They don't have any more to spare, so they're drinking it. And for some people, for therapeutic reasons. And the jury is still out on that research, by and large. So if you have it for therapeutic reasons, meaning to treat a neurological disorder or other things, you know, but that's for medical reasons. Type 2 diabetes, body fat, obesity, inflammation, you know, standard inflammation, things like that. You don't need it. Save your money. Save the money, put it to a, you know, your next smaller size clothes, because you're going to need them. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you for allowing me into your day. And I will see you again a week, hopefully a week from today. If you are in the Durham, North Carolina area tomorrow and you can make it, let me know, because I give a an approximate head count to the hotel, because they need to know. And then if you're in the near Greensboro, North Carolina, a week from today, Monday, the 11th, come on, let me know about that. And we're meeting at Tex and Shirley's. Alrighty, guys. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the support you give to each other. I love seeing that. And a shout out to my patrons and patreon.com. I've started making every morning, little snippet videos, usually before the sun comes up, sometimes in my robe, on a topic. It helps keep me focused. So that's open to all patrons. All patrons get that. The forum is open to all patrons, the discourse forum. And we have an activity spreadsheet that people are putting their activities on. Just nothing, no competition or anything, but I really like that, open to all patrons as well. So thanks a lot. I know several of you are patrons, and I really appreciate it. It means more than you know. Okay, now I'm off to the gym. TTFN. Make it a good one. 20 grams a day or fewer. Fatty sources of protein. Only eat when you're hungry. Drink when you're thirsty. Be kind.